had always hated lockdown drills in school. The fear that gripped me every time the alarm blared and we were forced to huddle in the corner of our classroom, pretending to be silent and invisible, was suffocating. But little did I know, things were about to take a turn for the worse. It was just any other normal day in school. The teachers were droning on about algebra and Shakespeare, and I was struggling to stay awake. Suddenly, the intercom screeched to life, causing everyone to jump in their seats. Attention! All students and staff, please initiate lockdown procedures immediately. I repeat, this is not a drill. The voice of our principal rang out. Panic erupted in the classroom as our teacher herded us towards the designated corner of the room. My heart was pounding against my ribcage, and my palms were slick with sweat. I couldn't help but wonder what could possibly be happening to warrant a real lockdown. The teacher quickly locked the door and covered the small window with a piece of construction paper. We all sat on the cold floor, huddled together, waiting anxiously for any updates. The silence in the room was deafening, and the longer we sat there, the more my nerves frayed. Minutes turned into hours, and still, there was no word from the outside. It was unlike any other lockdown drill we had gone through. Usually, after a few minutes, we would get the all clear and carry on with our day. But this time, it felt different, and I couldn't shake off the unsettling feeling in the pit of my stomach. As the clock ticked on, the silence was broken by the sound of faint whispers coming from the hallway. We all held our breath, hoping it was just our imagination playing tricks on us. But soon, the whispers grew louder, and it was evident that something was not right. The teacher motioned for us to stay quiet and held a finger to her lips. We all obeyed, but the fear in our eyes was palpable. The whispers seemed to be getting closer and closer until they were just outside our classroom door. Suddenly, the door burst open, and we were met with a sight that will forever haunt my dreams. A group of people dressed in all black and wearing masks stormed into the classroom, wielding weapons. They ordered us to remain quiet and put our hands on our heads, and I could feel my heart beating out of my chest as they moved around the room, threatening us with their weapons. I couldn't believe this was happening. What kind of sick individuals would do this to a school full of innocent children? Fear consumed me, and I could barely breathe as I tried to remain as still as possible. The strangers searched through our belongings, taking anything valuable they could find. I watched in terror as they roughed up my classmates, some of them crying and shaking uncontrollably. Just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, one of the masked individuals grabbed the teacher and held a knife to her throat. The room erupted in chaos as we all screamed and begged for mercy. But the masked individuals didn't seem to have any. They were cold and ruthless, and it was clear that their intentions were not just robbery. Time seemed to stand still as we all thought about our loved ones, wondering if we would ever see them again. The minutes turned into hours, and eventually, the masked individuals left, taking with them our sense of safety and security. The police arrived shortly after, and we were all rushed out of the school, greeted by the relieved faces of our worried parents. It wasn't until then that I learned the full extent of the horror that had unfolded that day. The lockdown was not caused by a threat from outside, but from within our own school. One of the students had orchestrated the entire event as a twisted prank, and the masked individuals were his friends who helped him execute it. As I sat in the safety of my home that night, I couldn't help but wonder how someone I had sat next to in class all year could have harbored such darkness inside. And I knew that this lockdown horror story would stay with me for the rest of my life, a constant reminder that sometimes the scariest things can happen right in front of us.